Okay. Arcania. This will be a bit of an interesting talk here, because I will probably ultimately make a bazillion comparisons to what I consider one of the best first-person dungeon crawlers, Shining in the Darkness, on the Sega Genesis. Arcania is not a bad game. It's just a simplistic game. Arcania is probably best for that in the mood for an RPG that doesn't require 5 million hours of my life. Its first-person dungeon aspect is very simple. It's not incredibly challenging. It's not insane. There aren't millions of secrets, mazes, floors. I mean, they're all floors, but I mean, well, like, for example, in Shining in the Darkness, there was, like, an aspect with pits in that, and you had a rope item, and basically, you would involve going up and down through pits while going through multiple floors and stuff, and then and you got fake walls, secret monster walls, and there's all kinds of secrets in Shining in the Darkness. I mean, even revisiting old dungeons, you could find secret items, such as the music box. Something I actually legitimately found back when I first played it. Ooh. Don't know how, I mean, to be honest. If I remember correctly, you had to get a key that's much later in the game and actually re-explore one of the more original dungeons to get it, or something. Also, I think it was behind a fake wall. I don't remember, it's so long ago, but oh my goodness. There's just get from point A to point B and find some chests along the way. There's no secret walls, no fake walls, no trying to find anything. There's no keys or key items and that. It's just really point A to point B, so it's very simplistic. Combat has a four-way elemental chain system where basically one is powerful than the other one and the circles around. Nothing complex there. Now, what is a little odd is the main character himself isn't like a normal class per se. He's what's called a card master, and he uses card magic. Now, basically how card magic works is you have each of the elements, and when you use cards, you can use 1, 2, or 3 cards. And the more cards you use, the more powerful the usage of that element of cards is. So he has no MP cost. It's really simple to think of his card magic. His card magic as like charges, like say in Final Fantasy 1, since you can only carry so many cards. But you get the option of how many you can use, so you can prolong how long they last, or use lots of them if you need to. There's also a few other type cards. A summon card, which summons a powerful beast. You got the null card, that's instant death, and then you got the fog card, which is winning. These can only be used by the main character, Rook. All the other people are pretty generic characters. A dwarf, a knight, a white mage, hero, and such. They learn pretty much stereotypical spells. Most of the characters have attribute spells, which are, I would assume, probably lazily translated for America, personally. Because, well, I'm not really sure what they are in the Japanese version, but they're just called attribute 1 through 11, if I remember correctly. And they're strong against certain elements. And some of them hit all, and some of them are single targets, so they all vary in elemental strengths. They're usually like strong against 2 different elements or so. But, usually kind of confusing. You usually have to read the description outside battle, because it won't tell you what they're good against inside battle. So that's a bit of a memory game there. late in the game, a lot of items are expensive, but overall, you do get handed a lot of gold. There is a lot of enemies you'll probably run into if you're not using maps or anything, and you're just exploring blindly. You are probably gonna get a lot of gold and run into a lot of enemies. So it is very grindy, not forcing you to grind. Be honest, I never really needed to grind much. Not really required. Pretty much on your own expense there, unless you really want to. Now, another interesting aspect of the game is that while you have killers going in and out of your party, that kind of like Final Fantasy IV, at different points in the story, you also share. It will always be the main killer and his spirit. His spirit is there's a spirit for each element, and you get them throughout the course of the story. And they level up with the main killer. So when you level up, they level up. So they get boosts, new skills, spells, and such as the main killer levels up. Now, interestingly, as you walk around, they gain regenerative HP and mana. So it's actually, once you start learning some healing moves with your spirits, it's actually a really good idea to use them as healers and let their mana recover and swap them around. Very good strategy. Now, the game's theme is very card-based. Everything looks like cards. They just look like cards everywhere. I'm not really sure where they were calling this Arcania, like after, like, like fortune cards, like the Tower card and the Fool card and that. It's like, that has nothing to do with this game. In Japan, it was called, like, Card Master, Wise, however you pronounce the final boss's name or that, the evil Empress. So, the name for America kind of doesn't really make sense. I mean, arcane cards, yeah, but they're not in the game, and they have no relevance in the game, so. But it's very card-themed in that. It doesn't really add much to the game aside from Rook using cards to actually cast spells, which are more like charges while everyone else... Well, Rook has mana and spells, actually. He does have spells. It's not like he doesn't have any at all. So he can use his card magic and spells. So, it's a win-win situation. And he's also a pretty decent melee fighter, so... I would hope so. After what happens in the end. Yeah. The plot, pretty stereotypical, really. And, few translation problems, I'd say. It kind of makes some funny moments, though, but overall, the few of the parts are kind of oddly done. That's probably because of limitations of text. Because one thing you have to keep in mind with, old games from Japan is that, with Japanese killers, you can fit so much more meaning in such a small amount of space than English can. So, when they translate games, they had to think of ways to try to either inform the player of what they're trying to say in shorter amount of words, or just wing it. And I'd say they just winged it in this. But it's still a fun game. And it's from HAL Labs, by the way. A.k.a. people who worked on Earthbound and Kirby. So we're not talking about a stupid company here either. It is a very interesting game. It's very nice. It's fun. And it's simple. If you're looking for a really hard and challenging game, you're not going to find it here. If you're wanting for a really long game, you're not going to find it. If you're looking for a simple, relaxed exploration game where you can just explore dungeons and just progress as you find the way to progress through the dungeon, perfect game for that. And Arcania is really cheap in America, apparently. My copy, which I only got the cartridge, is absolutely great condition. Nothing at all wrong with the entire case. and I got for like, I think it was $4, $4 or $5, so it's really cheap. It's very easy to find on Amazon, and I do recommend it for a simple experience, but not a complicated one. If you want a complicated one, go see Shining in the Darkness. There's a good game that requires a lot of survival. But Arcania was fun. I did enjoy it. I mean, it's not perfect. It has a few issues here and there. The plot is pretty cliche, and to be honest, I didn't really enjoy the final battle. I enjoyed the music of the final battle, but I did not really enjoy the final battle itself because it suffers, well, I can't really go into it without spoiling it, but it's not really a kick-ass final boss, sadly. But the game overall is still enjoyable. So I highly do recommend checking it out. You know, if you want to see gameplay footage or any of that, I have my time Let's Play on my Let's Play channel and the playlist on my main channel if you want to check that out. You obviously don't have to, you know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on Arcania, and I hope... Stay still. And I hope you look forward to more video content. This is Atticus out, and I hope you have a good day.